Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Bryan with DD214 Transport. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Topic today, we're going to have a special deal going on today. Topic today is the transportation industry and how it can be adapted to your lifestyle. Now I'm reaching out with two friends of mine today, and we're talking to the veterans, first responders, and even people that haven't been in the military about how to get into the transportation industry, and then a few other things here and there. Today I've got Roman, Big Roman,
thank you,
and Bobby, and between us we have 30 years of experience in the transportation industry. I've done OTR, dedicated, reefer, dry van, container, overweight, hazmat, local P&D, and now I'm doing this non-CDL HotShot. Bobby, what all have you done?
Well, I've done about everything. I've done over the road, owner operator, I've done lease operator, reefer, container, local, P&D.
And you're considering getting into the HotShot at this point?
Yeah, going back to
Going
HotShot.
back.
Yeah, right now I'm out of the industry.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about going back to HotShot.
Okay, now this is Big Roman, like I said, and Big Roman, if you watch the videos, you'll see, thanks to Big Roman, but you've done pretty much everything too, haven't you? What's your situation?
Same as him, just a little bit of everything. OTR, containers, which is what I do now. A lot of overweight stuff, hazmat stuff. Did LTL for a while.
Did the P&D?
Over the road, yeah.
So
a little bit of everything.
now here's the craziest part about this industry is that, every job, there's going to be something about it you don't like. Well, in this industry, it's the same. I did a local P&D and loved it. You did local P&D and hated it.
Yeah.
So what did you think of it?
I liked it.
He liked it.
At first it was very nerve-wracking because it's a completely different.
Yeah.
Right?
Because over the road you're used to like open spaces, even the shippers and receivers are more open for trucks and stuff.
Right,
when you
right.
do P&D, it's probably what you thought too. Like when you do P&D, it's like they're not all built for trucks. It's
No, you got to know what you're doing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You drive backwards more than you go forward.
That's right. That's the
LTL,
truth.
P&D.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So, how do you get into this industry? There's so many ways. I'm talking now on the channel about non-CDL HotShot with a pickup and a trailer. But there's so many ways, and there's so many reasons to get into the industry. It pays well, and the big thing is you can adapt it. If you find something, if you get into it and you find something you don't like, well, you can change it, and you can make it fit your lifestyle. And there's not many jobs that you can do that to. Now, Bobby, you had mentioned that you got into the industry basically to get away from family drama.
Right.
And
with that, and I was always looking for a way to like travel and get paid for it, and this is the easiest way.
Yeah, and you know what? Same here.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons I got into it.
but
too.
your dad was in the industry.
Yeah,
right?
he was, but that I didn't grow up wanting to do this. I actually wanted to be a paramedic my whole life.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, he did it.
Yeah.
I went with him on the road, and we, but there's not something I was like, oh, I want to do that too. I ended up doing it because I worked in the office stuff. I was a dental assistant and things, office environment, and I just felt it was depressing.
Right.
And I wanted some freedom, something, just, I don't know, like a free bird. I want to just go out and do my own thing and travel.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, trucking's a good way to do that. So I got into
You
that.
guys are cheap travelers, man.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of get out. I was going through some personal things too, and,
Right.
wanted a change of scenery, but I didn't want to move.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah, before this, I'd never left the state of North Carolina until, I mean, except for like when I went to the Bahamas that one time when I was 16.
Right.
Other than that, I never left the state of North Carolina.
Wow. Well, the crazy thing about me getting into it was I've got a picture of me at 16 years old with my mother beside the flatbed I was driving at 16.
yeah,
It was a F-750 flatbed. And from the time I entered the Marine Corps until 4 months ago, I'm sorry, that's not right, but 10 years ago, I had always said I'd never want to be a truck driver. So, I think I missed my calling and I ended up circling right back around to it. And I'll tell you guys, I love it. I absolutely love the challenges of getting in a vehicle and getting the job done. Now, I know for a fact that the veterans out there, not all have been in combat, but all gave something. And they signed a contract to give everything up into and including their life for this country. And I want to reach out to you guys and thank you and let you know that we're going to be here to, if you decide you're going to get into the industry, or whether it be, a CDL, go to school or whatever, we're going to be here to try to help you guys out. Now, there's so many different ways to get into the industry. That is a huge benefit to this industry. There's not just one path. For example, you went to school.
yeah. I just went to traditional.
Right.
I went to school. Yeah.
I went to school.
I didn't have any money, so I got somebody to pay. A company was offering to pay me to come train, and they still do that today.
Yeah, they do.
That's a good way to get
Yeah, it
into
is. But you have to sign a contract
You
with
had
them
to,
for
for 1 year.
for 1 year.
So, or if not, you had to pay the loan back
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that. But if you work with them for 1 year, then they wipe it. Then you can quit after 1 year and your slate's
Yeah.
clean and you can live your life and go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a great way. And there's also ways where
You can.
you can work on a dock.
Yeah.
And they'll and you start out with these companies and you get on the dock, then they will move you to a switcher.
Yeah.
And then, if you like it at that point, they'll send you to school and put you in a truck. So there's a ton of different ways to get in this. What other ways are there to get in this? I mean, you got school, you've got company paid training.
Yeah.
Where, like Bobby said, you do that. You can do HotShot, non-CDL HotShot.
Yeah.
But listen, the one thing I advise on the non-CDL HotShot is you need to study, because I'll tell you what, it's not, when you slap 10,000 pounds on your back, you're dealing with a whole different animal going down the road. So you need to study, you need to learn the industry, you need to do, watch these videos and learn how to deal with a no BOL, or you show up and they don't have the freight ready. What do you do? So there's so much stuff you learn by going through the CDL training. So Bobby brought up a great point, and that is you have to prepare for a lifestyle change. And because this job is just not a lifestyle or a change of a job, it is a change of a lifestyle. And I said this in my very first video, is that you have to make sure that your significant other understands what's about to happen, because if they don't and they're not okay with it, then it's going to be a major issue, and you won't survive it. The first truck I ever received on the Qualcomm, which is the computer inside the cab, it had here's leaving the keys to your truck in the cup holder. This job is just not for me.
And that happens a lot.
And it happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know, people think it's an easy thing to do, and it is not. You know, just because you can drive a car doesn't mean you can drive
That's
a truck.
right.
It's a different animal.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
I would totally agree with that. Absolutely.
And some of the places we've backed into, and that's another thing, you know, you need to find you a parking lot and learn to back, because
Yeah.
some of the places we've backed into is absolutely horrific. And here's the one thing about it. If you touch something, you scratch something, somebody runs into the side of you or an airplane lands on top of you, it's your fault as a professional driver. They absolutely wear you out with
That's
that.
right.
Didn't you get to, what you told one time when you shouldn't have been?
That's right. I was just gonna say, and at the end of the day, even if you got a camera and hey, you know what? You shouldn't have been on the road that day. You should have just called out of work.
Safety told him he shouldn't have been on the road that day. How
It's
crazy
ridiculous,
is that?
but that's the truth of it. Yeah.
All right, so our next topic we're just going to touch on a minute is how to make this industry work for you and your lifestyle and your life goals. And you wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to do this job. You can get into it and maybe you don't like running the road. That's perfectly okay. There's local stuff you can do, and even, you know, I didn't like LTL. Well, I'm not going to quit the industry over that. You find your whatever it is that you like. There's flatbed tankers. There's so many different ways to make this work for you.
Yeah.
And also, if you don't even want a CDL for whatever reason, you can go HotShot.
Yeah, you can HotShot
and get you a 30-foot trailer, and you're doing this.
You're doing.
And
all right.
there's a lot of ways to get into it.
Yeah, and if you don't want to see them and you don't want to do HotShot, there's companies out there that have a little bit bigger box trucks, and you can go from North Carolina to Oregon, making stops along the way. You don't need a CDL, you don't need any experience. You just basically driving a U-Haul van, basically, just wrapped with a different wrap. You know, don't say U-Haul inside. I mean, you just driving. I mean, I've seen.
Yeah, there's just
Right.
You got to make this work for you. You can't get into one particular thing. You know.
If you get into something you don't like, there's
Yeah.
other options. You know, one of the changes I made was the company I was working for got to the point to where you almost had to work 7, 8 days, 9 days
Yeah.
without a break. You know, and I decided. I think it was around my 50th birthday, or maybe I was pushing 50 at the time, and I decided that I just didn't want to work that much, and I don't mind working the didn't mind working the 12-hour days, but they would make 8 hours a day, and stretch it to 7 or 8 days, and I just fell out of love with that deal and decided I wasn't going to do it, and I found another company that worked 5 days a week, and I went to work for them. So a lot of different ways to do this thing. So if you get into something and you don't initially like it, you know, don't quit, stop, reevaluate. Right, exactly.
Yeah, the thing about trucking is everybody's used to seeing these big old trucks, and they think that that's all there is.
Yeah.
Right.
But
there's
there's a lot of
it's
other
invisible.
stuff.
It's almost like because that's what you see. But there's tons of stuff you can do out there that like.
I knew a guy who used to haul for concerts, the people that set up concerts, the stages and the stuff. And he loved doing that, and I mean that sounds fun. I did a Disney on Ice tour once, and you know, I didn't really like it.
I did a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah.
I didn't do the concert. I had to back up into the. I had to drive up into the actual Coliseum.
Arenas. Yeah, you go to the arenas, and the arenas are always in the city, like center city. So different gigs out there for different people. And that's the point here is, and you don't even have to have a CDL if you wanted to do this. You can do hot shotting, and hot shotting is a very important part of this industry too. They fill a void.
That's right.
That's important, and it pays good, and you don't have to go through a whole lot of hoops and things. The way you like a 2-year physical, all that stuff, you know. So just
and if you got the money and you don't want to get a CDL and you don't want to do combination, and you don't really want to work with somebody, but for yourself, you can buy a box truck, and there's companies out there that will hire you on the spot. You know, right off the load board, and you'll just go wherever you tell them to go, or wherever they tell you to go.
Yeah, I mean, there's you can do just about anything. So, guys, listen. Take a hard look at this industry. Understand that there's a million things to do and a million ways to go about it. It pays good, and you know, but it is a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And whether you're running local or you're running OTR, you're doing P&D, you're still dealing with a lifestyle change, because it's not like getting up at 6, going in at 9, and getting off at 5. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
No,
Taking a lunch at 12
that's
for an hour.
right. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But listen, take a hard look at the industry. Keep watching the videos. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. And hey, we'll talk to you later. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Big Roman.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See it.